Hey guys, Chris here. In this video, I'm going to go through everything you need to know before you go out and buy a Polestar 2. The 23 model is currently available for ordering at polestar.com. So at this point in time, there are quite a few different versions of the Polestar 2, and the 23 model differs from the 22 model, and the 22 model differs from the 21 model. So in this video, we're going to go through all of those things so you guys get a better overview of the Polestar 2 range. Before we do that, I want to give a huge thanks to today's video sponsor, Zaptec, with their Zaptec Go for sponsoring today's video. The Zaptec Go is a small, cool, and stylish home charger that can charge up to 11 kilowatts on AC charging. If you guys want to get a discount on ordering one, go to the link down below, and if you live in Norway, you can use the discount code ZAPRIFA for 10% off your purchasing price. Again, huge thanks to Zaptec for sponsoring today's video. When it comes to the 23 model year, the Polestar 2 can be had in 3 different versions or 4 different versions depending on how you count them. So the range kicks off with the standard range single motor with 474 kilometers of WLTP rated range from a 69 kilowatt hour battery pack. That car has front wheel drive, single electric motor, 224 horsepower with a 0 to 100 kilometers an hour time of 7.4 seconds. Then you have the long range single motor. This car with 542 kilometers of WLTP rated range from a 78 kilowatt hour battery pack. That car also has front wheel drive single electric motor but with 231 horsepower for the same 0 to 100 kilometer an hour time of 7.4 seconds. Then you have the long range dual motor with a WLTP rated range of 482 kilometers from that same 78 kilowatt hour battery pack. But you do have dual electric motors, so one on the front axle, one on the rear axle for 408 horsepower combined, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 4.7 seconds. Then there is technically a fourth model if you opt for the performance package, which is about around 5,000 euros, which gives you the Brembo brakes, the Öhlins dampers, yellow, gold seatbelts, not red, gold seatbelts, and also a power boost to 476 horsepower. That car does 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 4.4 seconds. That power boost could be optioned for the 22 model year for about 1,000 euros. I'm not sure about the 23 model year because those cars aren't out yet. We'll have to see when those cars hit, well, the shores in the fall. When the Polestar 2 came out in 2020 as a 21 model, there was only one version available. That was the long-range dual motor with 78 kilowatt-hour battery pack, 470 kilometers of WLTP rated range at that time. So the range has improved somewhat for these cars with the OTA updates. And then for the 22 model year that came out in 2021, we got the standard range single motor and then the long range single motor. But the standard range single motor had a 62 kilowatt hour battery pack, which is this car I'm sitting here. This is a 22 model year standard range single motor with 62 kilowatt hours of battery capacity. So this car only has 442 kilometers or 444 kilometers of WLTP rated range around there somewhere. So for the 23 model year, that range has improved by 30 kilometers, which is quite impressive actually. So they keep upping up the game on the Polestar 2. Since I drove the first Polestar 2 back in the late summer of 2020 as the 21 model, those cars, didn't have all the updates as they do now. So depending on what model year you go for, either 21, 22, or 23, look out for those differences, because if you're going for the 21 model, you'll only find long-range dual motors, but if you go for the 22 model, you'll get the standard range single motor, long-range single motor, and also that dual motor long range. But the entry-level model has only that 62 kilowatt-hour battery pack version, as the 23 models now will have a 69 kilowatt-hour battery pack version, giving you that extra range. I think also charging has improved on that battery pack because the C values will naturally rise when you have a bigger battery pack, meaning that it will actually charge a little bit better. I also think the charging curves have improved some. I think the latest update is the P1.7 or P1.8. Let's go in here and check just the latest software update. This is called system, and then this is called the, let's go to software. No, we have to go to software information. P17 is the latest update. So what you got in the last year in updates in the Polestar 2, and if you haven't updated your Polestar 2, I would highly recommend to, well, accept the OTA updates, the over-the-air updates, because you got range improvements, You also got something called range assistant, which will give you an eco mode on the climate control and let you, monitor your consumption much better than before. But also the most important is preheating of the battery, because these versions, all these versions of the Polestar 2 in my recent, 10 to 80% charging speed and charging time test do 10 to 80% charging in around 35 minutes. I think this is a little bit quicker at 34, but the long range battery pack, the 78 kilowatt hour version one, does like 36 minutes or something like that. But what's the real kicker is that you can now navigate to a charger, meaning the car will preheat the battery. Now in springtime and summer, that usually isn't a problem because the battery temperature, is at least like 19 or 20 degrees outside, which the outside temperature is. And once you drive a little bit, the battery will rise in temperature a little bit more. But if you navigate to a charger, it will preheat the battery, independent of how cold the battery pack is. And that means you will get that optimal charging speed. So for you guys, who live here in Norway or other places where it gets cold in winter, know that if you don't have a preheated or warm battery, you'll get, half or, a fraction of that charging speed in wintertime, which is really annoying. So the Polestar 2 may not have the fastest charging speed of all EVs, but it is very reliable since you can navigate to a charger and it will preheat the battery. So that means in wintertime and summertime, you'll always get that speed if you navigate to a charger via the navigation system. Another difference from the 21 to 22 model was the available optional heat pump that came with an options package that cost 4,000 euros or about 40,000 kroners. And also another option which is not available anymore that came with the 21 and 22 model year is the pixel LED headlights. You'll only get the normal LED headlights if you go for the Pilot Light package. Previously you could get the Pilot Plus package, I think it was called, and that came with the pixel LED headlights. But now because of chip shortages and also car parts that are made in the Ukraine, that is not available anymore. So if you option up a Polestar 2 for the 23 model year, it's actually a little bit cheaper than the 22 model year. And then there's the big discussion, heat pump versus not heat pump. And for me, it really depends on where you live and also how you use the car. Of course, if you live in a place with a warm climate, skip the heat pump. You're not going to need that. And also, if you're just using your car in the city and you don't depend on getting the maximum range and going as far as possible, as quickly as possible, it really doesn't matter. You're going to get a little bit more range out of that heat pump. But again, if you're not going on long trips, if you're just using your car till and from work in the city or just around the city, I wouldn't spend that extra money on that heat pump if you don't find that necessary. And also if you just want to get into a Polestar 2 as cheaply as possible. I had a friend of mine asking me, should I get the Polestar 2? And I'm like, yeah, you live in a city. Just get one without any option packages. Just get it as cheaply as possible because you're going to get the same driving experience as with all the packages. Lastly, guys, I just want to talk a little bit about, the dimensions of the car, interior space, and also trunk space and stuff like that. I've made quite a few reviews on the Polestar 2 at this point, so I don't want to talk about, the driving experience and also, the interior experience as in material qualities and stuff like that. I've done that so many times extensively here on the channel. So, browse the channel to find all of the videos on the Polestar 2, and I'll link a few of them that I find interesting in the box down below here, guys. But okay, the Polestar 2 is quite a compact car. It's built on the CMA platform, the compact modular architecture of the Volvo Group or Geely Group. Quite a few cars are made on this car platform. Volvo XC40, Volvo C40, and this the Polestar 2, and also the Lincoln Co. 003 or 02. I don't quote me on that. One of those cars that aren't available here in Norway, at least. So quite a versatile platform. It is 4.6 meters long, this car, so it's shorter by about 10 centimeters than a Tesla Model 3. It's also about 1.85 meters wide, so not the widest, but you do have enough space here in the front cabin, and it's about 1.48 centimeters tall, so not the lowest. It's a little bit taller than something like a Tesla Model 3. You do have a little bit more ground clearance, and in here you do sit a little bit more upright, so you kind of get that pseudo SUV seating position. I would say you sit as high as you do in something like a Kia EV6, but much lower than something like a Volvo XC40. The wheelbase is 2.7 meters long, so I think that's about the same as you'll find in an XC40. And the cabin, some people may find it a little bit cramped with the big center tunnel, but I like, you know, that cocooned feeling. Headroom is enough here. Legroom also in the front cabin. If you are longer, you may find the tunnel here a bit big. I'm about 5'10" or 178 centimeters, so I fit fine here and also behind myself. I don't find this cramped at all. I easily find a really nice seating position. The back seat also quite spacious, nothing to complain about. Of course, if you're above 6 feet, 6 feet 2, 6 feet 3, you may struggle with headroom and also legroom here. You have to, you know, just try to sit in one before you eventually buy one. Then you have the trunk, which is about 400 liters, and then you have a front which is 41 liters. So combined 441 liters. The trunk, not the biggest on paper. I think it's smaller than a Tesla Model 3, but because of that hatch, it opens up as a hatch, there is a lot of space and it's very easily accessible. So I would say this car overall, practicality wise, is a little bit better than something like a Tesla Model 3. So there we go, guys. That was everything you need to know before you go out and buy a Polestar 2. Mainly this video is about the 21 versus 22 versus 23 model year and all the different versions, because since we are in the third model year of the Polestar 2, things can get a little bit confusing for some people. And I think, you know, just making an overview and just breaking it down this way makes the choice and finding the differences easier for people. So this wasn't, you know, your review video where I tell you guys about the driving experience, the interior experience and stuff like that. Again, I made extensive videos on those subjects, so if you want to check that out, there will be a link in the video down below. So guys, did I miss something in the differences between the 21, 22, and 23 model? If I did, please drop a comment down below. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later and goodbye.